Remember that feeling when the school bell rang and you were finally free? You'd push through the doors, squint into the afternoon sun, and suddenly the whole day felt yours. For baby boomers, those after-school hours weren't just downtime, they were magic. Today, we're dusting off those memories and looking at 10 things every boomer remembers about after-school life.
Most kids didn't get picked up. You walked. Sometimes with a crowd of friends, sometimes by yourself, kicking rocks down the sidewalk. Every block had its own adventure, cutting through a neighbor's yard, stopping at a buddy's house, or just talking about baseball cards the whole way. It wasn't just the walk home. It was the freedom of the day finally belonging to you.
The first stop after dropping your books, the kitchen. And for so many boomers, there was always a glass of milk and a couple of cookies waiting. Maybe Oreos, maybe Chips Ahoy, maybe even homemade if you were lucky. Moms swore it gave you energy for homework, but to kids, it just felt like the perfect little reward. If you hurried, you could catch the after-school cartoons, Looney Tunes, the Flintstones, and later on Scooby-Doo. No DVRs, no streaming. You either caught it live or you missed it until reruns. That's why the living room felt electric when the theme song started. You knew you were right where you were supposed to be.
A lot of kids didn't just head home, they went straight to work. The paper route was a big deal. You'd hop on your bike, sling that heavy bag of newspapers, and make your rounds. It meant responsibility, it meant your own pocket money, and it made you feel grown up. By the time the newspaper business started to shrink, that whole slice of childhood disappeared.
When the homework could wait, the street turned into the best playground around. Stickball, kickball, touch football, it didn't matter. Somebody always had a ball, and the rule was simple. Yell car, and everybody jumped to the curb. That's how entire afternoons slipped away, laughter echoing between the houses until the sun went down.
For music lovers, the after-school soundtrack came from a stack of 45s. You'd drop the needle, hear that little scratch, and suddenly Elvis, the Beatles, or Motown filled the room. Sometimes it was just you, sometimes it was a couple of friends crammed in your bedroom. Sharing music felt electric, like the whole world was changing, one song at a time. Every neighborhood had one. The little shop on the corner. A candy bar, a soda, maybe a fresh pack of baseball cards. A quarter could stretch farther than you'd believe today. The shop owner usually knew your name, maybe even asked about your parents. Those tiny stores had a warmth that the big chains never could replace. Some nights, dinner came in a shiny aluminum tray. Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, maybe a brownie in the corner. You'd pop it in the oven and gather around the TV like it was an event. It wasn't fancy, but at the time, it felt futuristic. That was America in the making. Fast, modern, and a little bit exciting. When the cartoons were done, it was time to hit the books. And for most kids, that meant the kitchen table. Spelling words, math problems, history notes, all spread out while Mom stirred a pot on the stove. It was noisy, sometimes frustrating, but also comforting. It felt like learning and family life were all happening in the same space. Before the dinner bell rang, there was usually just enough time to sneak outside, ride your bike, climb a tree, or catch up with a friend down the street. That little window of freedom felt endless, and those small, unscheduled moments are the ones that stick with you, even decades later. For boomers, after-school life wasn't just the hours between class and supper. It was a whole world of little routines and big memories. Looking back, it feels like turning the pages of an old family album. So, which of these do you remember most? Let us know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this trip back in time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us again for more stories on America.